Hi everyone, my name is Manish.
Hello everyone, I am Sony, and today we are here to showcase our project, the Code Documentation Assistant, a tool built to automate and improve the process of documenting Python projects. So we will walk you through the key features, technical architecture, result, and lesson we learned while building this project. Let us start with the demo of our application. The first feature of our application is project documentation. So user can upload the complete zip of the project and they can generate the document of complete project. We have the option of debugging the complete project. You can enable it and disable it. It's on a choice where it will showcase the total number of Python files and it will count the class and functions. As you are uploading the whole project document, it will take some time to generate the document for the complete project. So this is where the is debugging of the all the files where it is extracted, the total Python files, other files, the directories. This is the complete So this is the complete documentation of the complete project. As you can scroll down and see, this is the overview of a project, what the project is about. And if you scroll down a little more, you will get documentation for the individual files and modules. This is the complete architecture of what the project is, the key component used in the project. Every detail is covered in this documentation. So user can also download this document and it will be downloaded in .md file. This is the complete documentation of a project. You can download the project structure summary and you can also download the complete project documentation and it will be downloaded in .md file. Moving towards the next feature of our application is generating the documentation for individual files or multiple files. So here you can upload individual file or you can upload multiple files and you can generate the documentation for that particular file.
Again, it will
Just process the file and it will generate the document. While generating the individual file, comparatively it won't take long time compared to the project documentation file. Again, it depends on the size of the file, the code, lines of code in the file. So this is again the complete documentation of what the file was about. You can again download this file. Moving towards the other feature, that is the code snippet. Let's say you just want a documentation while just pasting some code. So you can copy the code. You can go to this area and you can just paste the code and you can generate a document again for particular section of code. So the highlight of this all document that are generated is that it's not just blindly generating the doc string. It is actually analyzing the entire code base content, understanding how classes and function relates to each other. It is even using the rag to pull in related code snippet, an example to make this document richer. Moving towards the last that is the code chatbot. I'll ask Manish to explain this feature.
So here, the code chatbot, what basically does is it's a feature that allows user to converse with the AI assistant about their code. So we have a multi-source file selection where so from the zip, all the Python files are individually extracted, and so if a user wants to remove some of the files, he can remove, or maybe if you want to use just the uploaded files, he can just use. Also, one more feature I'd like to show is that if you'll try to upload another file, just let me download another file, and if we just upload it here, so we can use multiple files also for the code chatbot just to relate what one code snippet relates to other if you want any correlation, or like how one file can help in just another code file. So that's what the project files are like, from the uploaded zip or individual uploaded files, or even from the pasted code snippet. So after uploading both the files and generating the documentation, if a user wants to just ask any questions on top of that, he can just do it easily. So what does both documentation relate to? So currently we are using the 4 GPT-4o Mini for the response generation. As we can see, it will provide a summary for both files. The script demonstrates how to measure the time taken for code execution using time, the program for time seconds. The second was just for the enter your name. The script measures the time taken by user to input the name. So this is what the basically code chatbot does. Or else if the user wants to just ask question based on the snippet, he can do that as well. Or if he wants to ask on the complete documentation, he can do that as well. I'll just clear the chat history. This complete project is all about. So one of the main problems we were trying to tackle here is if we are using any other platform like Claude or GPT, there's no option for us to provide the complete zip of the file where it can extract and ignore the images file, and we have to manually upload each file just to understand the complete code base. So here we can see the provided code context does not include exploratory information or the project's overall purpose, goals, or functionalities. The documentation users can manage and document an entire project structure. So here we have used the zip for our own project itself, so we can understand much better like its features or functionalities. So moving forward, I'll just showcase how a code is uh, written. So the file to highlight would be the main is the app.py, the entry point for the application, set up the Streamlit UI. We are using this for just hosting and deployment on the cloud of Streamlit itself, initializing the session state just to save the uploaded files and not to lose those things. Here we are using the chunking strategy for each file to be separated, chunked for function and classes, as we already said by Sony. So it extraction of functions and classes and also handles the error handling for syntax issues. Then the embeddings file is the code is basically converted into the vector embeddings, and we are saving it in Pinecone where it's and to understand the retrieval aspect of the RAG, and for retrieving those chunking, I'll just show the how the retrieval model is working. So yeah, for retrieval, it's basically implements the semantic search functionality, and it also shows how the code context is retrieved based on the queries, the central to the retrieval part of the system. So I won't dive much deeper into it. I'll just showcase what each function or feature of a Streamlit is doing, like the project tab. It's basically focuses on understanding what the file structure is, and it's breaking down into complete zip. And also for zip handler, we are using another code base where we are only allowing the .py extensions to be extracted, and we are ignoring any other extractions, which is a video file, image file, or audio. So while creating, we saw that in debug how other files are just simply getting ignored, and we are only getting the documentation for the Python files. So moving forward, documentation. So what it's basically doing from the streamlit, when a user enters the either any file, zip, or a code snippet, it does the chunking process. Then it converts into vector embedding, which is then again saved into Pinecone. Then when a user asks a question, it does the context retrieval for document generation. And then for any particular personalized question, the OpenAI model is used to provide the response. And then the output can be downloaded as .md file. In future, we are also planning to for a user to be able to download .pdf, so that can be much more readable. So for technology stack, we are using for backend, we are using Python, and front end the Streamlit web application, language models, GPT-4 or many. Also for the vector embeddings, we are using the OpenAI's ADA small, which is 1536 parameter model. Um, so dependencies are very as minimalistic.
So for the future improvement, there are several points. Talking about the technical improvements, we can support the multi-language. We can integrate the version control. We can also improve the performance optimization. Apart from this, we can improve the UI, make it more user-friendly. We can enhance AI, we can make it offline functionalities. So there are various steps that we can do in future to make this application more user-friendly and more easier for the developer. So the lesson that we have learned while developing this application was the context is very important. So without understanding the function, relationship, documentation becomes incomplete. The code parsing is tricky. Different coding styles and nesting functions make parsing a challenge. And we have tried to keep the UI very simple. So for user to just achieve their goal by uploading the complete project zip and get the documentation. The resultant performance that we have analyzed is the improved documentation quality as we covered in future improvement that we can more improve the quality of the document. And it is also time saving for the developers as they have to cover every feature or everything in the documentation. So this is a time saving for all for the developers to prepare a technical document.
So in concluding our project, we understand we are trying to solve a problem where if any company hires any new employee and he wants to understand the code base of how they are particularly working on any feature or any product. So the initial stages, the company might have to brief thoroughly. Someone have to brief the new employee how the complete code base is structured, the file structured, which file contains what. So this is just a better opportunity. So any employer doesn't have to go through, or maybe if he has any questions or doubts for a particular file, how this function is working, so he can just simply get started with very easily. So future work would be focusing on expanding the language support from Python to Java, and just improving the performance at a larger scale, and just addressing the ethical consideration if there is any config ini file or .env file, how we can ignore those as well. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.